Hi, this is Josh, and Carol and I are about to spend a month cruising the British Isles. We happen to be here at the time of the King's coronation, so join us as we explore ancient castles and beautiful gardens, small islands and obscure ports. We'll venture to several prehistoric sites, and do this via the comfort of the Seabourn Ovation. We're fortunate enough to be staying at the Rosewood in London, and we have a wonderful suite there. It's such a pleasure, and everybody's very festive around here. We're shown to our lovely suite. It's called the Holborn House. It's the size of a small home, actually. The room fixtures are just lovely, and I love the sculpts on the wall. They've left us beautiful assortment of canopies, and we even have our own wet bar here, which is fantastic. The bed's cozy, and couldn't ask for a nicer place to stay. Master bathroom has 2 vanity sinks, all done in Italian marble. Scarf's Bar at the Rosewood has received numerous accolades. It's been ranked number 41 on the world's best bars. There's also this adorable little pie shop in the corner. Carol goes in and introduces herself. They show Carol a pie they're making just for the King's coronation. So after our first night around the hotel, we turned in early and get ready for tomorrow. The next morning we hopped on the tube and made our way to the Victoria and Albert Museum, which is the world's largest museum dedicated to applied arts, decorative arts, and design. In the lobby is a Dale Chihuly sculpture to greet us. We have a wonderful time just wandering around the halls. It's a gigantic museum housing over 2.2 million objects. Carol finds a beautiful glass collection, but she seems more intrigued with crown jewels that she's discovered. I think she's got an eye for them. The V&A covers over 12 acres. It's a large museum complex. We only wish we had more time to explore, but we'll have to save it for the next trip. After the museum, we needed a cup of coffee, so we went over to the Mercado Mayfair, a unique food hall located in this beautifully restored St. Mark's Church. It's originally built in 1828. The church was deconsecrated in 1974, underwent a significant $5 million restoration before reopening in 2019. We spent a few minutes walking through Harrods, the famous luxury department store. The store goes back to the year 1849 and has become a landmark destination. Their gourmet food court is beyond belief. We really like this Moet Chandon champagne bar within the Harrods department store. Much of our afternoon was spent wandering the streets of the West End in London. There's so many great old pubs, all with amazing history. It's so much fun just being here walking through the neighborhoods. Carol wants to take me to 2 of her favorite places. On our way, we walk past the 5 Corners, and we've reached 2 sources of Carol's inspiration. One is St. John Bakery. The other is Neil's Yard Dairy. Well, it's been a fun day exploring London. Tomorrow we set sail on the Ovation for Cherbourg, France. Unfortunately, I woke up a bit under the weather on day 3. Carol headed out to Liberty's department store, which was started in 1873. It's this beautiful luxury store that still stands. She then ventured off to another old department store called Fortnum & Mason. This has been in existence since 1707. Carol was stopping to pick up a few provisions for our room on the ship, which we are now heading for. We have a car coming to take us to Dover, and that's where we'll pick up our ship for the journey. We've now boarded the Seabourn Ovation and have our room situated, and it's a lovely suite. We're looking out over Dover as we're getting ready to leave. It's time for the high tea hour at 4 p.m., But today is special. It's the coronation. So it's the staff at Seabourn has created the most beautiful presentation for its guests. Crumpets, scones, clotted cream, sandwiches, just fantastic. After all that, we had to head back to our room. Since this was an anniversary cruise, they really went all out and put rose petals all over our room. The staff couldn't be any more accommodating at Seabourn, and they go all out for their guests. Wine and this faux cake. But I'm on the path of the rose petals, and they're leading me towards the bathroom. So off I go. Through the closet, we open the bathroom door, and voila! Carol's making us a bubble bath. We soon dressed for dinner and sat at the back of the boat for a lovely evening. Tomorrow we are in Seabourn. Au revoir. Our first port of call will be Cherbourg, France. We hopped on a coach which took us across Normandy to the small town of Barfleur. This will be our only stop in France. The area we're driving through was constantly conquered by the Vikings back in the 8th century. These raids were initially for plunder, but over the time they established permanent settlements here. Finally, in the year 911, Viking leader Rollo made a deal with King Charles the Simple. I love that, King Charles the Simple. And they came to an agreement where Rollo would protect the French from any other Vikings. Here's an old Viking ship in the harbor of our first stop at St. Vaast-le-Haut. We arrived just in time for the farmer's market. Look at those loaves of bread. That's their local specialty. I guess it's a brioche. And love this. Looks at all their salad greens and vegetables. Look at those mussels. And here's a craftsman busy at work. White asparagus, Carol loves them. And I love this little grocery, Maison Gazon. They had the best stuff inside. Oh man, I could have packed a ship. If you were a sailor and came to port, this is where you'd stock up all of your provisions for a journey out to sea. Oh, look at that. Wonderful stuff. The next stop on our journey was to this Calvados distillery. It was a family owned and operated for 150 years. And we got to taste some samples inside. My favorite memory was Grandpa was a musician, and he played us some songs. I bought his CD, and he sang for us. It was really sweet. Time to head back to the ship for another adventure tomorrow. Thank you, Normandy. Our ship departs Cherbourg and makes its way to Bristol in the UK. One thing I love about Seabourn is visiting the smaller. So we head up the river Avon towards Bath, which is about 40 minutes away. One of the first things you see when you enter Bath is the Pulteney Bridge. It was completed in 1774, and it's one of the few bridges in the world with shops built across the full span on both sides. It's a Palladian-style bridge, and it spans the River Avon below it. Bath was originally founded as a spa by the Romans in the 1st century. The city saw major development in the 18th century, becoming a fashionable spa town. The Gothic-style Abbey has been a site of Christian worship for over 1,000 years. We've arrived at the Roman baths. The first thing you do is visit the historic pump room. This tea house was built in 1795 and has been featured in many of Jane Austen's novels. It's built right beside the Roman baths and is a social hub of the area. I love how Carol boldly leads us along here. I have no idea where we're going. She acts like she owns the place. Just cracks me up. And everyone says, yep, she must be the boss. She must have known where she was going because she led us right to the King's Spring. And this is really the essence of the baths. The King's Spring fountain is designed to dispense water directly from the spring. The water is warm and rich in minerals and gives a very unusual taste. The Roman baths were constructed around 70 AD during the Roman occupation of Britain. They were built over natural hot springs which were considered sacred by the Celts before the Romans arrived. The Roman baths are considered one of the best preserved ancient Roman spas in the world. There were a bunch of different chambers and rooms besides the spa. There were locker rooms, gymnasiums, and even a wine library. After leaving the baths, we went back into town to do a little more shopping and browsing. We were on our way to the Royal Crescent, which we'll tell you about a little later, for some lunch at a nearby restaurant called The Woods. There were such interesting and charming little streets and neighborhoods. That's an unusual layout. Look at the way that was constructed. So we're about to see the circus and then later the Royal Crescent.
Okay, we've arrived at the circus in Bath. And this is the very first apartment building, Phil tells me. It was designed in a completely circular manner. As you can see, this is getting busy. Okay, enough of that.
And nearby is the Royal Crescent, which is a semicircle rather than a complete circle. They were both designed by John Woods the Younger and John Woods the Elder. We ditched the coach and opted for the train back to Bristol. One of Carol's favorite artists comes from Bristol, and that's Banksy, which we found this piece commemorating him. So we managed to squeeze a couple of hours in walking along the wharfs in Bristol, which was quite fun. So we're walking around Bristol Harbour side, which was formerly known as the Floating Harbour. This area was created in the early 19th century by damming the River Avon to provide stable water level for all ships. It's now been repurposed for residential, commercial, and cultural use, and it's still got these very cool little houseboats.
Okay, Carol and I just took the train back from Bath, and we're now in Bristol, along the river. And we're going to walk along all the way up till we find our shuttle bus to take us back to the ship. It was fun taking the train, and Carol's on a pilgrimage to find all the Banksy paintings she can, because Banksy was originally from Bristol. So we're gonna keep an eye out for Banksys.
Unfortunately, we miscalculated our time and had to make a beeline back to the ship. It's great fun visiting Bath and Bristol. Okay, the Seabourn Venture pulls into Fishguard, Wales. So we decide to hop on the coach and head off towards Tenby, Wales. We arrive at the great old walled city of Tenby. The walls are still here, but it's now become a seaside resort, and a cute one at that. First, we have to walk around the walls of the city to get in. Here's the entry. Inside the walled city of Tenby is a bunch of stuff you don't really need to take home. My mother would shake her head and call this all a bunch of tchotchkes. I can just hear her saying, "Do you really need one of these?" Walking the streets of Tenby is quite fun because the houses are all painted in wonderful colors. I love all the items for sale here. These British seaside towns are like stepping back into another era that I've never been to, but it sure is charming. Love all their advertising on the sides of the buildings. Yeah, I come to Tenby for all the latest Betty Boop dolls. Yeah, I like the look of all these places. Especially this one with these pastries. Oh, I love pies like that. So we decided to check out a local house and the way it was back in the day. So Carol and I take a tour. And there's your kitchen and the dining room table with the pig's head on it. Upstairs bedroom, Carol's checking out that roof line. It's very quaint, and there's a little old village, you can see what it was like back there a couple 300-400 years ago. Anyway, it's really charming and pretty in here, but it is pretty remote. The town of Tenby is so old that its architecture is a mixture of medieval, Tudor, Georgian, and Victorian styles, all wrapped into a kaleidoscope of color. It's where history and whimsy collide, creating a town that's as visually charming as it is historically rich. After leaving Tenby, we ventured off to see our first castle. This was called Carew Castle. This was originally from the Norman period, dating back to the 11th century. I've never been in a castle like this before. It's pretty amazing. It's completely dilapidated, but you can see the age. It was originally wood, and then they redesigned it in stone around the 16th century, I think. This was genuinely a fortress and served as a protectorate for a lot of people. Upstairs we found this tiny little chapel. It was turned into a mansion at one point with an indoor toilet, which was very unusual.
This is really a trip wandering around this old castle. I mean, this is really intact. Look at this place. We're in the middle of Wales. There's stained glass windows. It's haunted too. It's a haunted castle. The woman in white apparently patrols us during the day and night, and she can be seen coming in and out of Carew Castle. I've never been to a castle before. This is a trip. Look at these grasses growing here. This is about 1,000 years old? No, it's not. Is it 1,000 years old, Carol? 1,000 years old.
Aside from the people in the coach with us, it was pretty amazing to have this castle to ourselves. Really explore it, right on the Carew River. Well, it was time to leave and head back to the ship. So we drove through the countryside and really enjoyed the scenery. While we were driving, we heard the legend of the heroiness Jemima Nicholas. I think she saved Tenby from the British, but I'm not quite sure about that legend. Carol went and saw this mural that was created in her honor at the local museum. We had a wonderful time in Fishguard, Wales. The ship leaves Fishguard, Wales and takes us to Liverpool, England, where we're at the birthplace of the Beatles.
Good morning. Our ship just pulled into Liverpool. So we're about to explore the city, and we've got a lot planned for the day.
Our first stop this morning was a totally British music experience. This was very close to the ship, as it was in the Cunard building.
Carol and I have made it into the totally British music experience, where we're about to tour the whole facility. It's just a large theater that's been devoted to the history of music in England.
I love how the museum takes you on a chronological journey through the history of British music. Starting from post-war period to the present day. It covers various genres from rock, pop, punk, ska, you name it. Overall, it was a very dynamic and immersive experience. It celebrated the legacy and influence of British music on the global scale. I'm a die-hard music fan, and that was a very wonderful exhibit to see. Carol found her ABBA exhibit, and I found my reggae ska mod exhibit. Love this suit. Check that out. A fun time at the British Music Experience. After the total British music experience, we made a quick stop at the Tate Modern Art Museum. I'm so glad we did, because I love this exhibit called The Armada by Hugh Locke. It's a fascinating art installation featuring Locke's exploration of themes related to colonialism, cultural identity, and maritime history through a collection of miniature ships. Each ship is intricately adorned with a variety of objects and symbols that reflect diverse cultural influence. Being this was Liverpool, it was all things Beatles today. It was time for our first Beatle museum, and that would be the Beatles Story Museum at Albert Dock. I like the way they put this museum together. You just walk through the exhibits in a chronological order. You periodically stop to look at recreations of places the Beatles had been in. First, you visited the bar in Hamburg, Germany. Then they recreated a section just like the original Cavern Club. Next was the Brian Epstein record store that he owned and operated. There was Ed Sullivan and the Yellow Submarine, Sgt. Pepper and the Magic Oakfield Mystery Tour Bus. We saw a small recreation of the Abbey Roads recording studio that they recorded in. Before we left, I tried my hand out on the Beatlemania pinball machine. It was tough, but I think I did pretty good. As we head towards the Cavern Club, we pass Salt Dock with all these wonderful old houseboats. Salt Dock dates back to 1753. It's not much further and we've arrived at Matthew Street, which is the home of the Beatles. This is where the Cavern Club is, and the second Beatle Museum will attend. The Cavern Club opened here as a jazz club in 1957. By the early 60s, it had become a rock and roll club instead. The Beatles performed here from 1961 till 1963. They played here over 300 times. What you're seeing is the replica made by the Beatles Story Museum. Here is this great statue of John right out in front of the club. Now the second Beatle Museum, and this actually has a direct link to the Beatles. The museum is owned by Roe Best. Roe was Pete Best's half-brother, and Pete was the first drummer for the Beatles. Pete and Roe's mother owned the Casbah Club, where the Beatles got their first start. There were some cool things, like this was the PA system the Beatles used on American tour. This great guitar of George Harrison's. I enjoyed this one, but I really liked the first museum we went to. Next to the Beatle Museum was Eric's nightclub, and you can see all the quality acts that perform there. That reminds me of the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles. And our last tour of the day was going to be with Peter and Fab Four Taxi Tours. Hi, Peter. He was going to take us to all the most important sights to see in Liverpool. We start off with Ringo Starr's house. This is where he grew up. Next, we move on to Penny Lane. This was a real highlight on the trip.
And this is where Paul McCartney was a choir boy for nearly 3 years.
Wow.
Church.
Oh, wow.
And this is from the age of 11 years old, 1953. So we sang in the choir there every Sunday morning. Then he would meet his friends here and just hang around in the afternoon.
Do you want to get a picture of the sun? It's more clear.
Peter! There he is. There he is. Thank you, sir.
Here's a picture of Paul McCartney autographing the Penny Lane sign. Peter then drove us over to the McCartney's home, where John and Paul used to rehearse upstairs in that bedroom between us there. Here was John Lennon's childhood home, where he lived with his aunt. We also stopped by George's house, but it's hard to see it because of the shrubbery in the way. We then went to the Eleanor Rigby Church, where it so happens the Quarrymen first played. That's John there. The lyrics from Eleanor Rigby were all over this church and the cemetery here. John did his first gig with the Quarrymen right in the back here, and then went across the street afterwards, and this is where he met Paul McCartney. We then left for Strawberry Fields before returning to the ship. Our ship anchors just outside Douglas off the Isle of Man. It was kind of a rough tender into shore. The Isle of Man is a self-governing British dependency. I don't think they're part of the UK. They have their own flag. As we pull in closer, we can see the charming Victorian promenade of Douglas, beautifully preserved buildings. Interesting shops and cafes line the seafront. The promenade exudes a timeless elegance, all of these wonderfully ornate buildings facing the Irish Sea. I love the look of these places. They're so stately and classy. It's beautiful. The original function of the promenade was it was a barrier to prevent flooding, which had been happening prior to its construction. There would have been horse-drawn carriages leading you around the promenade. Okay, time to abandon the coach. Our next adventure awaits us aboard the Manx Electric Railway. We're heading to the top of Mount Snaefell, the highest peak on the island. The Derby Castle electric trolley will take us the next leg of this journey. There's our ship. You can see it from here.
Hey, we're on a little electric tram on the Isle of Man. There's our ship out there. There's the town of Duck. Apparently they have a world famous race here. It's a motorcycle race called the TNT. It's like a death-defying race on this road around the island. And right in front of us, it's supposed to be one of the most dangerous races in the world. Circle the island from there. Got a pretty steep drop over here. Look at the beach down there. This is totally cool, this tram ride. A little bit of a roller coaster to the extent of pleasure.
Okay, it looks like we're pulling into Laxey. We deboard the tram in Laxey, and we hop on the 1895 Snaefell Mountain Railway train.
It was built in 1854 to pump water from Glenmore, which was part of the Great Laxey Mines industrial complex.
Earth is sewn together and seamed by these different textures.
It seems to be getting foggier and foggier the higher we climb. I'll tell you, this little electric train's a real bulldog. So we finally get to the top of Mount Snaefell. You can't see it, but there's a little cafe up here. Carol's grabbing a coffee, but I'm going exploring.
Well, I made it to the very summit of the Isle of Man. I actually walked up myself because nobody else wanted to. There's a path that leads up. The train is parked down below. Everybody's having a scone and tea.
As we descend the summit, we intersect with the Snaefell Mountain Racecourse. The Isle of Man Tourist Trophy, or the TT as it is known, is the oldest motorcycle race still going on. It started in 1907. It's a 37-mile course up and around the mountain, and it's usually deadly. We've been dropped back in Douglas, and it's time for lunch. Carol's booked us at this cute little restaurant along the wharf here. The seaside village of Douglas is so charming. This town has a ton of charm. I love the fact they're independent of England, Ireland, and Scotland. They also have a very trippy flag with 3 legs in armor. Well, we're back on board the ship now and it's sail away.
Well, we're just about to set sail from the Isle of Man, and we visited Douglas and took the tram around the island today. That was a lot of fun, and it's just turned into a gorgeous day. It's a little overcast this morning. You couldn't see in front of your nose, but it turned into just a spectacular day here on the Isle of Man.
So from the Isle of Man, we head up to Derry, Ireland. If there's one politically controversial port we'll be arriving at, this is it. As we leave Greencastle to head into Derry, I love passing through the old shipyards. The way they paint the old boats. Anything dilapidated appeals to me. these excursions. We enter the city along the River Foyle.
Well, we've landed in Derry.
The city of Derry, also known as Londonderry, is renowned for its well-preserved rampart walls.
Carol and I are on the rampart in Derry. The upper wall, the walkway along the upper wall.
These walls were constructed between 1613 and 1619 by the Irish Society. The walls were meant to protect the Scottish and English from the potential uprisings by the dispossessed Irish Catholics who were opposed to the plantation and loss of their lands. These neighborhoods here is where a lot of the trouble has been in recent years. This is where the murals in the Free Derry Museum are. It was fun walking on this ancient elevated wall through the city. It intersected neighborhoods and let you see the interesting city from a different perspective. As we've toured the British Isles, I've been looking for the best combination for lunch of a fish, chips, and ale. Today's stop is at a place called Brown's, and this is legendary as a great pub in town. After lunch, Carol and I walked through the old neighborhoods of Derry where the murals were. The murals are renowned for their vivid and poignant depiction of the city's history, particularly the Troubles, which was a period of conflict between Northern Ireland from the late 1960s to 1998. The murals often carry strong political messages that reflect the perspectives of different communities within Derry. Occasionally, I notice a similarity between Banksy's artwork and the murals. Banksy's artwork often critiques political issues, using irony and satire to convey his message. The Derry murals serve as historical records and active reminders of past conflicts and the ongoing peace process. We then walked over to the Peace Bridge. The Peace Bridge spans the River Foyle, connecting the predominantly Protestant waterside with the largely Catholic city side of Derry. It's a cycle and footbridge with a distinctive curving structure, symbolizing a handshake across the river. On our way back to the ship, we're passing these little oyster beds and farms. I've had oysters all over the world, and I imagine they're fantastic here. Thank you, Derry. We've had a wonderful visit. It's been very enlightening. Hey, I'll see you. Our ship anchors near the shore of the Isle of Skye. We're docked right outside of Portree. Our tender docked in this cute little horseshoe harbor. The white two-story homes look like sentinels guarding the shoreline. Our driver's waiting for us, so he's ready to whisk us away on our island adventure. Through the rolling countrysides of Kilmer, we journey toward our first stop, which is Dunvegan Castle. Funny little situation, our driver was from the MacDonald clan, and the castle he was taking us to was owned by the MacLeod clan. These were rival clans, and our driver was just a little bit nervous stepping into the enemy camp, so to speak. He kept a very low profile and at a distance. As we ventured through the ancient halls, we soon realized this wasn't your ordinary castle tour. Oh sure, there were your usual tapestries and suits of armor, but it didn't take long for things to get a little weird. First stop was the fairy flag. Legend has it that this tattered piece of fabric has mystical powers, capable of saving the MacLeod clan in times of peril. Next up was the Dunvegan Cup. It's said to have been carved from the fairy flag itself and possesses the power to grant eternal youth to whoever drinks from it. There was also a mermaid's comb and a few stuffed animals about. There were underground passages, and this maid was in one of them. You could tell as you wandered around outside that they had been through a few battles in their time, mostly against rival clans like the MacDonalds. Cannons aimed at the bay. They even had their own jail cells. The Dunvegan Castle Gardens, a testament to resilience in the face of turmoil. Born from the ashes of the Jacobite Rebellion in 1748, these gardens rose like a phoenix from the flames, a symbol of hope and renewal amidst a landscape scarred by conflict. Designed around a majestic waterfall, the gardens offered solace and sanctuary to weary souls. Their vibrant blooms and verdant foliage a balm to the wounds of war. Each stone pathway whispers tales of resilience and redemption, while the gentle trickle of water provides a soothing melody, a reminder that life endures even in the darkest of times.
Here's a Dunvegan pebble. You sit on this baby like this, and it spins you around the garden.
So we wandered through the hallowed grounds. We couldn't help but marvel at the resilience of the human spirit, embodied in every petal and leaf. For in the heart of Dunvegan Castle Gardens, amidst the echoes of history and the whispers of the past, we found not only beauty, but a timeless reminder of the power of hope to triumph over adversity. As we left Dunvegan Castle, our stomachs rumbled louder than the Scottish bagpipes echoing off in the distance. After the tales of the fairy flags and the mermaid combs, we needed some nourishment. And what better place to get it than at the lovely, renowned Three Chimneys? Amazingly, here was a Michelin-starred restaurant in the most isolated location imaginable. But it was farm and ocean fresh food that they were delivering to international foodies who found them. Our next stop was the elusive fairy pools, a tantalizing promise of magic and wonder amidst the rugged beauty of the Isle of Skye. Sadly, our journey to seek out these legendary pools proved to be a tale of disappointment rather than enchantment. We trudged the winding path only to feel a twinge of skepticism. Despite the allure of the name, the reality of the fairy pools fell short of our expectations. Instead of mystical creatures frolicking in the crystal clear waters, we were met with throngs of tourists jostling for the perfect photo op. But it seems the fairies are real and want to get back at us, as you'll soon see. We're now late to get back to the ship, and there's a car accident in front of us. It's just a little fender bender, but it's got everything jammed up on this one-lane road. After we finally get past the car accident, we get caught up in this walkathon for charity, and we're stuck behind the walkathon. Well, the fairies took pity on us and let us get back to our ship, so we were able to sail out on time. The lovely, enchanting, mysterious, fairy-owned island of Skye. We scale the west coast of Scotland, heading north to the fishing town of Scrabster in the very north of Scotland. Our ship anchors out in the bay, and we take a tender into shore. We're on the Caithness Peninsula. This area has been occupied since prehistoric times. We're on our way across the peninsula to go visit the small town of Wick, where Carol and I are going to tour a whiskey distillery. At last we arrive at Old Pulteney. The Old Pulteney Distillery is one of Scotland's most renowned distilleries. It was established in 1826 and has a long history of whiskey production. Here is the original flour mill that I believe they still use. They create a grist that goes in these mash tuns. Here they create this sugary liquid called wort. This all eventually gets sewn over to these still pots. And that's about all I know. I just hope I got that part right. It was a short day here for us on the Caithness coast. I'm kind of glad because the daytime whiskey tasting can leave you a little wiped out.
So it's a beautiful afternoon in Scrapster. We're just about to take off. And there's these dancers down below the ship. And they're leaving us, sending us off with a dance. It's so adorable. It's Sunday today, so everyone's out of school.
We say goodbye to Scrapster and sail down the coast to Inverness. We've pre-arranged for a driver to meet us there and give us a tour of the Scottish Highlands. It rained the night before, but it's off to a nice start this morning. See a rainbow in the sky over the town of Invergordon. Lots of murals on the walls here in Invergordon. They don't quite have the same intensity as the ones in Derry, though. We were told that our driver Thomas would stand out. They were right. Hey, buddy. So Thomas, Carol, and I begin our journey through the Scottish Highlands. I've noticed that they grow a lot of rapeseed in this region. We are on our way to Dunrobin Castle, and we're passing farms with Shetland ponies. The black and white ones are called piebald Shetland ponies. We pull over for a quick panoramic view of the Scottish Highlands. I took a picture of something along the side of the road called the Argyle Box. Thomas explained these are repurposed phone booths. They're placed in strategic location with life-saving equipment and other emergency essentials. Driving along, Thomas pointed out these stone caves. These date back to prehistoric times and were used for food storage and safety. This castle pops into view, but that's not Dunrobin, where we're headed. We're soon passing through the Kyle of Sutherland. It's a tidal estuary formed by the confluence of four rivers, the Ochel, the Castley, the Shin, and the Carron. It's also renowned for its salmon fishing. Thomas takes us to a particularly good spot where you can see the Atlantic salmon climb the waterfall.
Okay, Thomas has brought us here to Shin Falls, where we hope to see some spawning salmon. We pass salmon on our way up the river, salmon fishermen, and this is a good location as they climb the walk here.
Nearby was an old Scottish croft that Thomas took us to. Crofts were typically rented or leased from a landowner under a system known as crofting tenure. There was a significant period in Scottish history known as the Highland Clearance, which occurred primarily during the 18th, 19th centuries. It was the forced displacement of all these tenants from rural areas. We passed through the town of Goldsby on our way to Dunrobin Castle. Dunrobin dates back to the 1300s. It was originally the ancestral home of the Earl of Sutherland. The gardens here were primarily designed in the Victorian era, so they reflect the French styles that were very popular at the time. Being situated on the east coast of Scotland, the gardens benefit from the mild climate. We were fortunate in that we were just in time to see the falconry exhibit. What a magnificent backdrop for this show. You have the castle on one side, the ocean on the other, and you're in the middle of a garden. They have two different types of birds of prey. I think they're both falcons, I'm not sure.
She got it.
Castle gardens are just beautiful. We were watching the falconry exhibit, but
Somebody got their eye plucked out by one of the falcons, so they ended the show prematurely. The ancestral home of the Earls and Dukes of Sutherland over 7 centuries. The original castle dates back to the 1300s. The current design dates back to the 19th century. Sir Charles Barry, who also designed the House of Parliament in London, is responsible for the design. Barry transformed the original fortress into the stately home with Scottish baronial style. There is quite an interesting assortment of items throughout the house. I think they were all original. I like the children's toy room. The Sutherland collection of uniforms and weaponry is quite impressive. Well, we have to leave the castle behind and head back in the direction of our ship. On our way back to the ship, we stopped by the Royal Dornoch Golf Course, which was established in 1877. This is one of the oldest and most prestigious golf courses in the world. We stopped for a pint with Thomas, our guide, and thanked him for just a wonderful day. It was great seeing the sights with him. Now back to the ship for our next adventure. So we wave goodbye to Inverness, Scotland, and head down to Edinburgh, Scotland. Our ship arrives in the Firth of Forth, and these are the 3 bridges of the Firth of Forth. The first bridge is the Forth Bridge. It's a cantilevered railway bridge built in 1897. The second bridge here is the Forth Road Bridge, not to be confused with the Forth Bridge. This is a suspension bridge built in 1964. The third bridge is the Queen's Ferry Crossing. It was built in 2017 and is the longest 3-tower cable-stayed bridge in the world. We start this adventure at the Edinburgh Castle. All sorts of Scottish royalties lived here, including Mary, Queen of Scots. I saw one of these at a garage sale. Up there on the wall is William and Robert. Those 2 knights have only been there since 1917, though. Check out this bad boy. I see you over there on Forth Road. Don't piss me off. Edinburgh Castle is on Castle Hill, and it's almost all rock. I couldn't believe anything could grow up here, but here was this garden. Okay, let's go inside and inspect the Great Hall. That's known as a hammer beam roof. I like this wheel of pistols. Man, check out that crazy hat. Can you imagine trying to climb in that thing and get into a fight with someone? My God. I guess they were fighting some real barbarians with these things. Well, it was time for me and Carol to bail from the castle, so we went down Royal Mile. I was very excited about our lunch plans as we'd booked a table at the Royal Cafe. The cafe opened in 1861, serving incredible seafood. These 6 murals on the wall depicted famous inventors of the time, like Benjamin Franklin and James Watt. Famous guests to the Royal Cafe included Sir Walter Scott, Robert Louis Stevenson, and even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Heading into the oyster bar, there were more tiled murals and stained glass windows, these depicting British sportsmen at the time. They really gave us some wonderful seats here in the oyster bar, and we enjoyed our lunch of fish and chips. After lunch, Carol and I thought we'd hit the street and start doing a little shopping. Loved this mini cafe that we ran into. The streets were busy and it was fun investigating a city we'd never seen before. This was an amazing whiskey library that Carol discovered. They had this exclusive bottle of Aston Martin whiskey. Look at that bottle. I wanted to get this outfit, but they didn't have my size, so I bought some chocolate sardines instead. We had fun goofing around the city of Edinburgh, but it was time to bid our fond farewell. See you later, Edinburgh. So we bid goodbye to Edinburgh and off we go down the coast to Newcastle upon Tyne back in England. We actually navigated quite a ways upstream up the River Tyne. Our ship was like Godzilla coming to shore. I couldn't believe how far inland we were going. Like I was saying, we go to some pretty obscure ports for a cruise ship, so I think the locals look out and are quite fascinated when they see our ship come to port. Finally, we docked and went ashore. We got on a coach and headed towards Alnwick Castle. We passed through fields of rapeseed, which is used to make canola oil. Unfortunately, I don't think canola oil is healthy, and I think it should be banned. Anyway, it was a lovely drive up to Alnwick. For over 1,000 years, Alnwick Castle has been home to the Percy family. We drive through the medieval gate that leads us to the castle. We did visit the old city and the castle, but we love the garden. The Duchess of Northumberland, Jane Percy, actually started the gardens in 1990. Her idea was to turn the neglected grounds of Alnwick Castle into a spectacular contemporary garden. One of the garden's focal points is the grand cascade that leads to the garden center. I love these trellis walkways that went down beside the cascading waterfall. It's really beautiful. How they're pruned like that. That was really amazing. Just beautiful. The next section of the garden turned out to be one of the trip highlights. It was the Poison Garden, the perfect blend of beauty and danger. The tour guides came out of their hut to lead us on tours through the dangerous garden. The Duchess Jane Percy's original idea was based on the Poison Garden owned by the Medici family in Florence, Italy. This guy didn't listen and touched the plants. Good old rhubarb, you can eat the stalks, but don't eat those leaves. Some of these were narcotics that they kept in cages. The lily of the valley. Ingest this, you get very sick. The laburnum tree, also known as the golden chain tree, is also very highly toxic. The king's always been a gardener, and now I'm seeing why. The oleander, which we have all over California, is very toxic. Snakehead fritillaria. This plant produces some pretty nasty alkaloids. Do you see the sign, please keep off the grass? Very cute. And what good poison garden wouldn't have its own wall of shame? It had plaques on the wall for all the famous poisoners throughout history and a sample of the plant nearby. Some nasty killers here, including Dr. Death and the Curry Killer. Someone I know needed a souvenir. As long as she doesn't buy the handbook, I'm okay. The next segment of the garden was the cherry orchard. Rows of Japanese cherry trees were planted on a hillside, and beneath the trees were fields of white flowers. Here was a lady walking her baby up the hill in a stroller. The path was shaded and zigzagged up the hill. Occasionally there'd be a swing for you to rest at. Okay, it's lunchtime and I'm getting hungry. Carol reads where there is a tree house here, but she's not sure. She's found it on the map. We don't have any reservations for lunch, but man, Carol has a way of doing things. So she's snooping around. We don't see anybody, so that's always concerning. But she's always game for giving it a go. So look how spectacular this is. There's nobody around. It's like we're the only ones here, so it's like, I wonder if they're even open. She opens this door, looks, there's nothing in here. Says maybe we're too early, maybe they're not serving lunch on whatever day of the week it is. She says, let's go in here. That doesn't look, that looks like storage or something. You know, there's outdoor seating, but there's nobody around. Let's go inside. And leave it to Carol, man. She gets it done. How cool was this rustic treehouse for lunch? Totally up my alley. God, did I love that, and the furniture. After lunch, we ventured over to the formal garden. This was a very classical formal garden, designed with symmetrical layout, precise geometric patterns, and carefully manicured hedges and flower beds. It featured a collection of seasonal plants, topiaries, and beautifully arranged flower displays. The pruning was a real art form, as you can see. Everything is perfectly trimmed at all times. I like how the handrail is built right into the hedge. We now arrive at the water sculpture garden. These Japanese katsura trees surround the first piece called Canyon.
We're lost in the maze, but it's filled with all these little sculpts, and a lot of them are water sculptures. But what an amazing place. Here I am with Carol from Water Sculpture. Okay, something's about to happen. There's got a bunch of little kids that are going to get a letter.
We're soon walking through a bamboo forest, which gives us a totally different vibe. And the fountains are about to go off. I wonder what this is. This doesn't look normal. I know they've had some seismic activity going on around here. Better take a closer look. What is this thing? This giant termite! Oh, never seen it. What is it? Oh, it's getting me! Oh my god! It's got me! It's got me! Oh! Do you sometimes feel potted? Bloated? Well, I've got just the thing for you. Then put yourself in my shoes and come join the bee men. Join the rest of us and be a bee man. Time to leave the fun garden and go check out the castle before we get back to the ship. This castle was built in the 11th century following the Norman conquest. It's undergone various renovations and expansions over the centuries. Several movies have been filmed here, including Harry Potter, Robin Hood, and Elizabeth. We have a few minutes left, so we explore the old town of Alnwick. Even though it's spelled Alwnick, it's pronounced Alnwick. We didn't have a lot of time to explore, but it looked wonderfully quaint. A great stop here at Newcastle upon Tyne. Our ship returns to Dover, and we begin our second lap around the UK. Carol's been doing some studying and finds a garden for us to visit in Kent. We get a driver, and he takes us out on a beautiful country road. The countryside is incredibly scenic. We soon arrive in the village of Sissinghurst, and then it's on to Sissinghurst Castle Garden. Sissinghurst Castle Garden, one of the most famous gardens in England, was created by Vida Sackville West and Harold Nicholson in the 1930s. The garden's divided into several distinct rooms, each with its own unique character and planting scheme. The grounds spread out in front of us here. Our tour starts here at the Old Dairy. This beautiful old dairy with its window slits to let the light in and the arched doorways just gorgeous. Right across the court was the gift shop. Back over in the old dairy was the cutest little bakery. We had to go check it out. It was really sweet. And they made fresh homemade goods right there on site. Out the back door of the old dairy led to the organic gardens that were just beautiful. There was a volunteer staff making all sorts of improvements. After seeing the organic gardens, we take a different path back to the formal gardens. Vita and Harold called these outdoor sections of the garden their rooms. This was the most romantic garden we saw on the trip. It had formal elements, but there was a real refined eye with a selection of plant material. It's an unusual story here as the owners dedicated themselves to the creation and maintenance of the gardens. There really isn't a castle here, but a beautiful Elizabethan manor home. The castle burned down back in the 17th century. The properties had a very colorful history, as at one point it was a prison camp for French sailors, who I believe were responsible for burning down the castle. After finishing the gardens, we went to tour the homes. Their home was lovely and understated. This building was turned into a community use space. The tower is one of the last remnants from the castle. It's an example of Elizabethan architecture, and it was constructed in the 1560s. Vida Sackville West was a prominent English writer, poet, and gardener. She had a writing space here in the tower. Carol and I climbed the steps to the top of the tower. Look at this beautiful glass collection along the way. Soon we reach the top of the tower and get commanding views of the area. When this tower was completed in 1560, you can only imagine what dominance it gave the landowner. It was great research on Carol's part to find Sissinghurst and bring us here. What a tremendous garden this is, probably our favorite, if not one of our most favorite on the trip. Our next stop was in the historic city of Canterbury. Upon arrival, you are greeted by the Roman walls built in the year 280 AD. The city is renowned for the Canterbury Cathedral. The cathedral is a World Heritage Site and dates back to the year 598 AD. We are soon walking the King's Mile, which encompasses several streets, including Palace Street, Sun Street, Guildhall, and Orange Street. All these streets retain their historical character, with many buildings dating back to medieval and Tudor periods. The area is renowned for its unique and independent shops, offering everything from antiques and crafts to fashion and gifts. It's a great place to find one-of-a-kind items. I can only imagine playing here at night, past several cafes and pubs that looked like a lot of fun. They had canals through the town, that was interesting. While in Canterbury, we had a chance to meet up with one of my best friend's sons. His name is Reuben Scranton. His dad was a really good friend in Los Angeles named Roger Harris. Roger helped get me into the Untouchables. Roger isn't with us any longer, but his son is a handsome gentleman and looks just like his dad. Reuben was kind enough to bring me a couple of mementos from his dad's collection. Roger Harris was an original mod. He came over from England and moved to Laurel Canyon. He's still missed, but at least I got a chance to meet Reuben again. After lunch, we meander through the city back toward our meeting spot with our driver. Driving is not allowed in the Old King's Mile, so he's going to meet us on the periphery. In the meantime, Carol's found the smallest cheese shop in the world. The streets and shops are so cute around here. It's a very interesting mixture of people on the street here. There are the locals, and then there seem to be a lot of students. There's always, of course, a lot of tourists. I'm sure there are devout followers and historians as well. For me, Canterbury felt like a very fun place to visit with a very youthful energy to it, regardless of the age of everything here. Well, it's time now to leave Canterbury behind, but it was wonderful. I look forward to getting back to the ship and seeing all the other cargo ships in the port. The ship sails over from Dover. The port of Portland is just a launching point as we head inland to see Stonehenge. Portland has a nice long beach and it's rather windy. We have a lot of wind sailing and windsurfing competitions here. We'll soon be passing through Weymouth. Weymouth looks like it's from another era. I'd like to do a vacation just going to seaside towns. Weymouth is famous for its King George bathing machines. The king would climb into this bathing throne and they'd walk him into the ocean. It became very chic. Anyway, we're just passing through Weymouth. We're on our way to Stonehenge. But I love this old style of architecture. We saw this in Douglas. The route we're taking was the same route the Romans took to go to Wilkes-Barre more than 2,000 years ago. I believe the rock wall indicates where the Roman highway was. Riding along, I see a red and yellow flag that turns out to be the flag of Wessex. Wessex was one of the 7 Anglo-Saxon kingdoms that existed before the unification of England. As we approach Stonehenge, the area seems relatively unchanged for hundreds of years. Our coach finally arrives at the guest center for Stonehenge. Just beside the guest center is a small grouping of Neolithic houses. These reconstructed houses are based on archaeological findings.
Joe and I are walking up to Stonehenge. We didn't do the visitor center, it was a zoo. It's a crazy zoo. There's 5 million tour buses here. So we decided to walk up to Stonehenge rather than be part of the tour because we're nonconformists, really, honestly. We do conforming things, but in a non-conforming manner.
Somehow this refreshment guy got a front row seat. Here's the entrance, and we're there. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument located in Wiltshire, England, consisting of rings of standing stones, each around 13 feet high, 7 feet wide, weighing approximately 25 tons. These stones are set within the earthworks in the middle of the most dense complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England. It's time to head back, and everybody's standing in line at the shuttle bus, so Carol and I decided to hoof it back. Why not?
Well, Carol and I saw Stonehenge. Had to be seen, checked off the bucket list, but I love the path to and from Stonehenge. Look how beautiful it is with the flowers, wildflowers. Perfect time to be here. We have just a magnificent day. And this is our path back to the visitor center. Carol and I are the only ones on the path. Everybody else is taking shuttle buses.
Salisbury is a city in Wiltshire, England, renowned for its medieval architecture, vibrant cultural scene, and proximity to Stonehenge. Here's the Avon River passing through town. We're up at Market Square for what's called the Charter Market, with local produce and crafts. You can see High Street around us with all the independent shops, boutiques, and eateries. Several buildings around the square retain their medieval timber-framed architecture. The Poultry Cross dates back to the 13th century, marking the site of the former poultry market. This supposedly haunted pub goes back over 700 years. The pub's filled with all sorts of fascinating historical artifacts, including a mummified hand believed to date back to the 15th century. I've been drooling ever since we had lunch here. Real Cornish pasties have to be made in Cornwall. These are brought over. I've never been in a city as old as Salisbury. We're on High Street, but this dates back to Roman times. The High Street gate here dates back to 1327. Salisbury was actually developed in the year 1220 when they laid the foundation stone for the Salisbury Cathedral, which we'll see a little later. We just love poking our nose in the shops and seeing what they had available. These lovely shopkeepers tolerated my jokes. We stopped at the Red Lion Hotel, which is one of the oldest hotels in the UK. It was built in the year 1220 to accommodate the workers building the Salisbury Cathedral. Before it was Salisbury, it was Old Sarum and then New Sarum. That dates back to the Roman times. Just loving these old pubs like the Wig and Quill. Being from California, these places are just absolutely amazing. For us, a building over 100 years old is considered quite old. We decided to look inside the new inn just to see what it was like. It was amazing. It was like a set for a Disney movie. New inn actually dates back to the 12th century. How many generations have swapped stories, told lies, lost and made fortunes in here? We venture again down High Street. Now we're going to go to visit the Salisbury Cathedral, which is just down the road. The Salisbury Cathedral is renowned for its stunning Gothic architecture. The cathedral was constructed between 1220 and 1258, with the iconic 404-foot spire, the tallest in the UK. The Salisbury Cathedral is renowned for its Gothic architecture. The Salisbury Cathedral houses one of the best preserved original copies of the Magna Carta, dating back to 1215. It's in some place called the Charter House, and we're going to go find it. But on our way to see the Magna Carta, we see some incredible artifacts. At last we arrive at the octagonal, stained-glassed, medieval room that housed the Magna Carta, one of the most important documents ever made. It was time to head out to the main courtyard and try and catch up with the rest of the group. I love these lifelong memories that we create when we travel. I was impressed with Stonehenge, but I really did love visiting Salisbury. Beautiful city. Thanks for wonderful memories, Salisbury. So our ship heads west from Portland to the tiny islands of Scilly. Quite candidly, I'd never heard of the Isles of Scilly before we took this cruise. I actually never realized there were all these small islands all around the UK. So we all piled into the tender and off we went to the Isle of Tresco. We've come here to see the Tresco Abbey Gardens, a renowned botanical garden located on the Isle of Tresco. Founded in the 19th century by Augustus Smith, the garden is known for its collection of exotic plants from around the world. The mild climate of the Scilly Islands, coupled with the shelter provided by the garden's walls, allows for the cultivation of plants that would not normally survive in the UK. The shell gazebo at Tresco Gardens is one of the garden's most unique and enchanting features. This gazebo is beautifully adorned with an array of shells. The intricate design showcases the artistic use of natural materials, creating a visually stunning effect. Here we're passing through the exotic plant collection, which houses over 20,000 species of plants from subtropical regions like New Zealand, South Africa, and South America. Tresco has a very unique microclimate. It's located approximately 20 miles off the coast of Cornwall. Being surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean acts as a thermal buffer, absorbing heat during the summer and releasing it slowly during the winter. This helps keep the temperatures more constant throughout the year.
Carol is not too crazy about the color scheme in the garden here. And when she's not too crazy about something, you know about it, okay? There's no hiding her feelings about things. This is just too random for her taste. He says, no rhyme, no reason. Says, lovely, but huh? Also, the Gulf Stream flows very close to the Scilly Islands.
Many of the subtropical plants here could not survive anywhere else outside of this unique environment.
Carol likes this portion of the garden because it has a theme and she can relate to it. Carol found, what's the name of the place, honey? It's the Ruined Beach Cafe we're going for. Carol promised me nice pizza. And so look at this. This is a little trail. We're leaving the Abbey behind. And if you can believe it, this trail is on Google Maps. I know, it's astounding. We're on the Isle of Tresco. This is such a cool island. It's in the middle of the tropics. There's nobody around. Carol's done a great job navigating us. Restaurant straight ahead. There she is. She's letting us down this charming little. And Carol somehow managed to navigate us to the Ruined Beach Cafe. It's a lovely location. It's low tide, but you can see all the way out to sea. How gorgeous it is, though. Okay, let's go get our pizza.
Pizza was about the best I've ever had, so after lunch we hit the path. This beachside community is called Old Grimsby. We're going to walk across the aisle and get over to New Grimsby. We figure there we'll catch a water taxi to get back to our ship. Carol informed the lady in charge before we took off that we would get back to the ship on our own. As we were walking to New Grimsby, we met an older English couple and had a nice chat as we walked into town. We found the local pub called the New Inn. As soon as we walked in and said hello, a woman at the bar heard our accents and told us that the ship was looking for us. She would contact the ship, but we needed to get to a designated location by 4 o'clock.
Leaving Tresco Island, it was just wonderful. We had a wonderful lunch at the Ruined Beach Cafe. Now we have to take a little private boat back to the island of St. Mary's in order to catch the shuttle back to our ship.
The shuttle ferry.
We stopped
But
off.
we'll have a little extra time to do some shopping in St. Mary, which I've heard is a good spot for souvenir shopping.
We stopped at the New Inn over here, and that's when somebody at the bar told us that they were looking for us. Oh, look at those kids.
We arrive in Hired Town on the Isle of St. Martin in the Scilly Islands. We'll walk around town for a little while and then pick up our shuttle here at the dock. Unfortunately, Carol was wrong. Everything's closed today on Sunday. There's really not a whole lot to see today. But boy, did we have an adventure today. I look forward to seeing what tomorrow will bring, but I'm very grateful for every second I've had. Our ship arrives in Bantry, Ireland, which is a sleepy little town on the Irish coast. We're greeted by the statue of a sea lion. There's our ship right behind him. Carol and I make our way over to the Bantry house and garden. These gardens were designed by the Earls of Bantry in the late 18th and 19th centuries. Our timing is great as everything seems to be in bloom. Stunning old. Unbeknownst to us, our timing was perfect. The wisteria had just come into bloom, and the wisteria at Bantry is truly a sight to behold. Cascading down from pergolas, its purple blossoms create a fragrant canopy that invites us to linger.
Bantry, Ireland, and they have lovely gardens here. Look at all this boxwood, wisteria, and the sun. Just gorgeous. I love these pyramids that they've pruned. So we'll inspect the whole garden here.
So we venture across the garden grounds. They've recently converted the stables into an inn. You'll see that building in a second here. We turn around and head back toward the steps that go up to the different levels of the garden. We stop after every flight of steps to look at the horizon.
This is No Mow May, where they don't mow the lawns in the month of May so the wildflowers can appear. We're taking an alternative route down the trail. 100 steps to get to the ridge. And we found an alternative route, we think. Maybe. Here we go.
Carol and I take the nature trail down the hill. As it turns out, there's a Bantry garden trail that leads to several different properties. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. We're now returning to the west stables, which haven't been renovated, but this gives you an idea what the building looks like on the other side that was turned into a hotel. I love these dilapidated buildings that have just been left to become part of the nature of the garden. I wonder if that tower was manned. Bantry is in a very remote part of Ireland, so there's just very few people around. This property has remained in the same family ownership for the last 300 or 400 years. We couldn't have asked for a more perfect day for our garden tour here in Bantry. Seeing the wisteria pergola here was really extraordinary. That really made this garden special. We toured the interior of the house, but it didn't really do much for me. I really enjoyed how ramshackled everything looked, almost haunted, but I loved how unspoiled and natural it all was. So I came up with the bad idea that Carol and I walk into town from the house. We had arrived here via the garden entrance, but as we were leaving the house, I suggested to Carol that we take the main driveway out. So down the driveway we go, but it doesn't seem to be ending. At last we arrive at the gatehouse, but it's locked and we can't get out and there's nobody there. There's no phone and there's no way to scale the gate. So I found the lowest point in the wall and we scaled over. The town of Bantry was cute, but there was not much going on. It was pretty isolated here. They definitely don't get many tourists here. This is a very obscure port. So we must have looked pretty strange when we arrived and started walking around. It was interesting to observe that what you wear can actually say a lot about you. I loved all the colorful doorways, but there was not much going on in town. So time to head back to the ship and on to our next port. From Bantry, the Ovation sails around the coastline and goes to Galway, Ireland. From our deck we can see the oyster bed farms where they raise their world-famous oysters. They hold an international oyster festival every year. We've gotten off the ship and we're starting to walk around the town of Galway. It's kind of early in the morning, so there's not much traffic yet. We're heading towards the town square where we'll find a taxi. We've devised a plan to first visit Kylemore Abbey Gardens and then follow that with a lunch at the Ashford Castle. We've found a driver and we're on our way. Our driver was a very friendly guy. He pulled over to show us what peat looked like and how it was used to keep the homes warm. Rolling hills farmland with marshy basins. The coastal fog felt very familiar to me, but we don't have the sheep, not like they have them here. And these guys are bossy too. They feel like they own the place. Okay, we're arriving at Kylemore Abbey and Garden. Kylemore Estate was originally built in the late 19th century by Mitchell Henry, a doctor from London. Construction began in 1867 and was completed by 1871. Alongside the castle, Mitchell Henry developed an extensive garden. There was a bit of a walk from the castle to the walled Victorian garden. There were fun little distractions along the way.
Josh found a little musical instrument on our walk here to the walled garden.
The Victorian walled garden, completed by 1871, was innovative for its time, featuring 21 glass houses and a variety of exotic and native plants. The garden was developed simultaneously with the castle. Spanning 6 acres, it was one of the last great gardens built during the Victorian period in Ireland. Again, there were 21 glass houses, including a range for exotic fruits and vegetables, which were heated by an underground boiler system. Sadly, Margaret Henry died tragically during a trip to Egypt, 1875. Eventually, the garden fell into disrepair. In 1920, the estate was purchased by Benedictine nuns who had fled Belgium during World War I. They established an abbey and boarding school for girls, which operated right up till 2010. Fortunately, Kylemore Abbey Gardens is now open to the public to view. We now venture over through Cong on our way over to see the Ashford Castle. On our way, we see more of the oyster beds and the oyster farms. At last, our next destination is in sight, and that is the Ashford Castle. The castle was built in 1228 by Anglo-Norman de Burgo family after their defeat of the O'Connors. The castle changed hands several times, and in 1850, Sir Benjamin Lee Guinness purchased it and extended the estate to 26,000 acres. The Guinness family owned it until 1939. It was then transformed into one of Ireland's most prestigious hotels. The castle features a blend of medieval and Victorian styles, with battlements, turrets, and a moat. The hotel offers luxurious accommodations, fine dining, a state-of-the-art spa, and various recreational activities, including falconry, horse riding, golf, fishing, and boat tours. The castle has hosted many notable guests, including royalties, politicians, and celebrities. John Wayne filmed The Quiet Man here. In addition, Ashford Castle is home to Ireland's first school of falconry. In the back of the castle is the Lough Corrib. This is the largest lake in the Republic of Ireland. Our visit to Ashford Castle comes to an end and we have to return to the ship. So again, we pass through Cong. We pass a statue commemorating John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara in their appearance in The Quiet Man, which was filmed here in Cong. I loved hearing that busker in Galway. Okay, we leave Galway and we make our way to Donegal, Ireland. It's a cold, misty morning that we arrive. Okay, the pilot ship brings us into Killabug, Ireland. A lovely breakfast in the dining room before we head out on adventure. We're out on our own today, and Carol's found a wonderful garden called Oakfield Park that's not too far away. We were very fortunate to be able to flag a taxi, but this was kind of a funny situation because we couldn't understand a word the driver said. Fortunately, we were able to communicate where we wanted to go. I only wished I'd taped him. He would ask us things and we had no idea what he was asking us. Surprisingly, here's a billboard for the Eurovision Song Contest. Our first stop was in the town of Donegal on our way to Oakfield Park. We stopped at the Donegal Castle. This entire place was made of stone. I think it was constructed in the 14th century. Easy to envision Robin Hood and the Three Musketeers all parading through here. I'm sure this castle withstood a few battles in its time over the last 600 years. Great place to shoot a music video or a photo shoot. Fashion shoot would be great in here. Or how about a king-size party? If you don't know me, I have a thing about road signs, and there was quite a few funny ones along the way here. So here's a whole series of road signs that I saw. I thought I'd just throw in randomly right here. They all have various meanings. Some I understand, some I don't. You can help me decide which ones are understandable. We had a couple of minutes to walk around Donegal before we would go to Oakfield Park. We really enjoyed walking through the quaint village of Donegal. It had so many fun little shops to poke our nose into. These colorful pubs too. They all look very tempting, but we'd have to wait until after we visited the park before we'd visit a pub. Oh, I bet Donegal is fun on a Friday night. All these pubs coming to life with music. Our cabbie had left us for about an hour and picked us up at a designated spot before we left to go to Oakfield Park. I think he stopped at the local pub before picking us up. His driving became slower and slower as we went along. At last we arrive at Oakfield Park in County Donegal. The estate and gardens go back to the year 1739. It's quite large and it's been divided into several areas. We start on the Lion Trail, which is sort of a naturalist trail through the forest. As has been the case with most of the gardens we visited, we have the park to ourselves. This wooden sculpture was made by a local artisan. Here's a standing stone from the Neolithic period.
And you can see the sculpt that we're walking to. There's a loop around the park that we're walking, but there's a maze to get into. See that sculpt there? And here's this neat piece of artwork. This wonderful wood sculpt. It is big. What a creation. I hope my video doesn't make you. Yeah, it is like a roller coaster.
We pass an interesting little circular seating area. But who's shushing us? We're on the ferry path. We're being shushed by ferries. This is the cutest little ferry village they put in the woods here. There's a ferry penthouse. That there be a ferry circle. You don't want to mess with the ferries around here, or you get yourself in a lot of trouble, because they're little hijinks. When you're going through Ferry Tree, you leave their stuff along to the different ferries.
Okay, we've arrived at the fairy tree where you make your wish and you put it on the tree. Hear all the birds singing to Carol? She's writing her wish. Here's a little mushroom. And the birds are all singing as we visit the fairy tree where they answer all of your wishes. And all your wishes come true. Yeah, there's a fairy bird.
I didn't want to disappoint Carol and tell her the park attendants pulled down those cards every couple of days. I remember when my brothers and I were little kids, we'd go to Fairyland in Oakland, right on Lake Merritt. Our walk leads us past streams and fountains. As we continue on, soon we'll be riding on the train that runs around the park. I've talked to the engineer and I have a plan. This cute little pond has swans and castles, and it just couldn't be any more charming. We only saw one swan and they usually travel in pairs. What an unexpected treat it was to find Oakfield Park, the county of Donegal in Ireland. It's difficult to realize that we're on a cruise ship in a port about an hour away.
This is Mole Holt. What is it? Moorholt. This is the land giant, Moorholt. He seems to be looking at us as we're walking past him. That's fantastic. Yeah, you don't beat that. The conductor said he'd give Carol and me a free ride on the train around Oakfield Park. So, we're the only passengers. He's promised he's going to crank it up and go really fast. Train goes throughout the whole park. Oh, this is fun. Carol and I are the only passengers.
One last feature here at Oakfield Park is their maze. That stone column is in the center of the maze. With more difficulty than I wish to acknowledge, we did make it to the center.
And you ring the bell. That means we made it to the maze.
Well, we finally did it. We made our way out of the maze. Josh is exiting right now.
We had a wonderful time here at Oakfield Park. Our cabbie took us back into Donegal. Carol had noticed this pub right across the street from the castle. Boy, did she spot the right place. It's a great old pub serving wonderful seafood. The old castle pub of Donegal. After lunch, it was time to get back to our ship. It was fun passing through the boat yards there. There was our ship in the background, and it didn't quite fit in. We had good fun in Donegal. Our ship sails from Donegal, Ireland to Oban, Scotland, and we dock in Oban Bay.
Well, we've just arrived in Oban, Scotland. It's a great little harbour town. Ship's just docked.
We're all about to board the coach. Above us is McGegg's Tower. It's not Roman. These early row houses shared a lot of the same utilities.
Main shopping street in Oban. You might see quite a few cafes and fish and chip shops. Very famous for fish and chips here, particularly mornings on the left hand side.
Are you kidding me?
You're looking for fish and chips at lunchtime. And then we see the other harbour on the left hand side and the ferry terminal over there with the line. And the big ship over there with the blue hull, that is one of the ships that supplies and processes the fish from the fish farms.
We're on our way to one of the more unique gardens on our tour of the UK. There are fish farms off in the bays here, and that's what you're seeing. All sorts of different shellfish. We'll soon be at Arduaine Gardens. I'm not sure Carol liked this garden as much as I did. This would probably be my second favorite on the trip. Arduaine Garden was established in 1898 by James Arthur Campbell. It's situated on a small peninsula that juts into the Sound of Judah. The garden boasts an impressive array of plants from all over the world. It's known for its rhododendron, magnolias, camellias, and azaleas. Carol and my timing couldn't have been any more perfect because everything was blooming. The garden wasn't very fussy. It was plants that had been planted for many years and had taken off and matured. James Campbell brought back species of plants to his garden that were similar in microclimate. The garden was divided into two areas. One was ground level, and then there was a beautiful ridgeside trail. Being a native Californian, the coastline reminded me of Big Sur in Central California, except without this amazing vegetation. The upstairs path makes you think it's just wild and unkept, but I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it's highly managed. Arduaine is famous for its extensive collection of rhododendron, which thrive in the mild, damp climate of the west coast of Scotland. I just love the distant vibe of this garden being isolated off on its own. It was like being in another world. It was truly beautiful, timeless. It was time to return to Oban for a little lunch before we got back on the ship. And we did find a wonderful seafood restaurant called Iusk. And boy, did they have every kind of shellfish imaginable. We had mussels, clams, crabs, lobster, langoustini, fish and chips. It was amazing. After lunch, Carol and I wandered around the cute town of Oban, Scotland. Everyone was out and about because the weather was so nice. What a cute little seaside town. Lots of fun stuff here. Real sense of humor, I detect. Anyway, back to the ship. We set sail for the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides. Many residents here speak Gaelic as their first language. Stornoway is known for its picturesque landscape and its role as a hub for the Gaelic language and culture. The population here is about 8,000, and it serves as a gateway to the Outer Hebrides. In recent decades, there's been a revival of the Gaelic language and culture in Stornoway. The town is a hub for Gaelic media, education, and cultural events. The area all around Stornoway has been inhabited since prehistoric times, as evidenced by numerous archaeological finds. The Vikings originally arrived in the 9th century. We crossed the island and reached the Black House village called Nagirran. This historic village features a collection of traditional stone black houses, which were typical dwellings in the Hebrides until the mid-20th century. Black houses were built with double dry stone walls filled with earth and a thatched roof. This village has been carefully restored to preserve its historical significance. The concept of the Black House dates back to the Iron Age. Similar structures existed in Scotland for over 1,000 years. This village has been inhabited up until 1974. Inside one of the Black Houses is a small cafe and a vintage loom. Weaving textile was an essential craft in many rural areas. The process of weaving would have been labor-intensive and required skill and knowledge passed down through generations. There was a small cafe and Carol and I shared a tuna sandwich. Best tuna sandwich I ever had. They were so sweet in there. I bought myself a cap that was weaved right there in that village. Our next stop was at Don Carloway. Don Carloway is an ancient brooch located nearby. A brooch is a type of Iron Age structure found predominantly in Scotland. Brooches are large circular towers, typically constructed from dry stone, without use of mortar. The walls are tapered inward, creating a conical roof structure. Our last stop on this incredible island was to see the Kelowna stones. These stones were erected sometime between 2900 and 2600 BCE. That's 4,500 years old. This site is often compared to Stonehenge in terms of significance and mystery. The purpose of these stones remains unclear. The site where Carol is standing is called Callanish 1 and dates back over 3,000 years. This location is actually older than Stonehenge. The last stop in the UK before heading up to Iceland will be Kirkwall in the Orkney Islands. We're at the very northern part, British Isles. It's hard to believe that the birth of civilization came from right here. Kirkwall was established by the Norsemen back in the 11th century. The town then grew in significance during the Viking era. A cathedral was built here in 1137, and it's been a tourist mecca ever since. Actually, the reason for our visit is to come see two archaeological sites.
And the population of the island as a whole is about 21,000.
Way before the Vikings came and conquered, there was civilization here for a long time. We are now arriving at the Ring of Brodgar. The ring is a Henson stone circle consisting of 27 stones out of an original estimated 60. Stones are set within a circular ditch about 341 feet in diameter, making it the third largest stone circle in Britain. Dating back to around 2500 to 2000 BC, the Ring of Brodgar is believed to have been used for ceremonial or ritual purposes. This Neolithic stone circle is on the UNESCO World Heritage Site list. The porta potty out here was hilarious. And our second destination was Skara Brae, which is a well-preserved Neolithic settlement. Skara Brae is one of Europe's most significant and complete prehistoric villages, offering invaluable insight into the lives of people who lived there around 3200 BCE. That's about 5,000 years ago. The village consists of 8 cluster houses made from flat stones and built into the middle of a prehistoric garbage mound for insulation. The houses are connected by low covered passageways. Each house shares a similar layout with a central hearth, stone-built furniture, beds, and storage space. Many stone-built items such as dressers, storage boxes, even what appear to be primitive forms of a toilet have been found. The site was buried under sand dunes for millennia, which helped preserve the buildings and artifacts. It was just uncovered by a storm in 1850. Skara Brae predates Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge. Scale House was built by Bishop George Graham in the early 17th century. I believe he's the one who discovered Skara Brae. Carol toured the house extensively while I just waited downstairs for her. She came back out and she looked pale as could be, like she'd seen a ghost. And she had. The Scale House is haunted and she actually ran into a ghost. Fortunately, I had some Scottish whiskey to calm her nerves. She was soon sleeping like a little lamb. Well, we left the Orkney Islands and we headed north, across the North Sea to Iceland, and the water's been very, very choppy. I'm on the front of the ship right now, and you can see the motion in the ocean right in front of me. It's really quiet this morning in the observation lounge on board the Seabourn Ovation. Our ship is cruising towards the Westman Islands on the south coast of Iceland. The Westman Islands are a small archipelago of about 15 islands, 30 rocks and skerries, situated just south of the coast of Iceland. We'll be going to the largest island today, which is Heimaey. It has a population of about 4,000 people. As we take the tender to shore, we're told about all the puffins that live in these hillside cliffs along the way. It was very hard to take any kind of pictures off of the tender. I wished it hadn't been so overcast because it was truly amazing to see where they lived along this cliff. And stunning to see this hillside was not much going on in Abbey, as it was a small, sleepy fishing port here. There was a few shops and stores, but most everything was closed, and there wasn't much to do. Abbey had unfortunately been sacked by a terrible volcano in 1973, and Carol went up to explore the site where the volcano occurred, but it wiped out the town. She supplied some of the photos here of the devastation, and Carol went and visited this museum which showed the devastation firsthand. It was just a short stop here at Orkney Westman Islands on our way to Iceland. Tomorrow will be our last day on the ship in Reykjavik. So the Seabourn Ovation makes its last stop here at Reykjavik, Iceland, exploring some of the newest land on our planet. Iceland is about the size of Colorado with a population of 285,000 people. One half of them live in Reykjavik. Iceland is the result of two tectonic plates bumping into each other.
Well, we've made it to the merging of the two tectonic plates that form Iceland. And it's the American and the European plates. You can actually walk between the two continents here. Carol's just discovered the path to lead us between the two continents. These are the tectonic plates that are grinding together underneath Iceland. I think we're walking between the two continents right now. Between the Americas and Europe. Just between the two plates. Tectonic plates. You see the trail goes off in one way.
There are an assortment of hiking trails that lead all over the island, so people backpack and camp during their summer months. I love the way the rock pours down the hill here, all these crevices. So interesting. We then ventured into the Hakkadular Valley. This valley is filled with a variety of ancient geothermal geysers, hot springs, and bubbling mud pots. They have their own old faithful geyser, and they call it Stroll. It goes off every 10 minutes, but we just missed it, I think. So we'll catch it on the rebound here. Look around at this place, isn't it wild? Clouds, mud, it's just unlike any place else on Earth. Occasionally you'll see a fumarole, which is like a vent in the earth. Here's a little geyser. He's kind of cute. You ever wonder why some geysers have blue water? It's caused by Rayleigh scattering by aqueous colloidal silica. You already knew that? Wow. Okay, let's get back over to Stoker Geyser. I think it's just about to go off. If we're lucky. Et voila. Now on this stop, I really must have lost my mind. Really, truly. I did something very unlike me.
Girls are probably wondering where I am. It's so physical. Okay, we made it. We're right up the falls.
To finish up this incredible vacation, Carol thought of the idea of having us stay at the retreat at the Blue Lagoon, Iceland. It's a luxurious spa resort located within the famous Blue Lagoon geothermal area. The Blue Lagoon was founded by Grumur Simonsen in 1992. It's evolved since into a major attraction for its innovative use of geothermal seawater for health, wellness, and beauty. The retreat was built in 2018 and designed by Basalt Architects, an Icelandic firm known for its focus on sustainability and integration with natural landscape. The design emphasizes harmony with the surrounding lava fields, using natural materials and large windows to blend indoor and outdoor space. We stayed in the Moss Suite with a terrace overlooking the lava plain. The interior incorporates natural local textures and earthy shades inspired by the surrounding landscape. The design's sleek and minimalist, focusing on clean lines and simplicity, which enhances the tranquil ambience of the suite. These features come together to create a space that's both modern and deeply connected. The Blue Lagoon is renowned for its milky blue geothermal waters, rich in minerals such as silica and sulfur. The water comes from a nearby geothermal power plant, Svartsengi, and is rich in minerals which give the lagoon its distinctive blue color. The water is renewed every 48 hours, ensuring cleanliness and freshness. The retreat offered 2 dining options. The first night we dined at Lava, which is a restaurant carved into a lava cliff on the edge of the Blue Lagoon. It's offering a dramatic and unique dining setting. The design seamlessly blends the raw natural elements of the lava rock with modern architecture. Moss Restaurant is designed with a contemporary and elegant style, featuring large windows that offer panoramic views of the surrounding lava fields and the Blue Lagoon. We had the tasting menu, which provided a curated journey through the flavors of Iceland, each course paired with a carefully selected wine. Dishes at Moss are presented with an artistic flair, often resembling works of art. The plating emphasizes balance, color contrast, texture, and making each dish visually stunning. As you can see, their approach allows the natural beauty of the ingredients to shine.
Japanese style here for you guys. We have a kind of an representation of Iceland here, the nature, especially in the south.
It was such an honor to be here and share these wonderful dishes with Carol, these Michelin-starred chefs making these wonderful creations. This vacation's over, but it's been a pleasure to share it with you. And Carol, you are the queen. Thank you, my love.